This is the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI Studios in Toronto, Canada.
Hey Toronto, this is Ed Sheeran.
This is Kelly Clarkson.
Hi, this is Bryan Adams.
This is Adele.
This is Madonna.
It's Michael Bublé, and you're listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep Show. It's fun. They're amazing.
Pooja and Gurdeep's
You never do that.
Rules of Life.
So it's Valentine's Day in a couple days, and we have a rule of life for you, okay? Listen closely. This is the rule of life. You always buy a Valentine's Day gift, even if you and your partner agreed not to. Agree or disagree?
Painfully, I agree. I learned this lesson the hard way.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Years ago, had a partner on Valentine's Day, and we were comfortable enough with each other. We're like, it's Valentine's Day. It's not Christmas. It's not your birthday. This is just a silly, fabricated holiday. We agreed to not get gifts for each other. Cool. Verbal agreement. Everyone was cool with it.
There was a handshake. You signed things.
There was a fist bump.
There was a contract.
There was a hug. Not the way you seal a deal with your partner. Okay, sorry, my mistake. And then come Valentine's Day, she got a couple of gifts for me that totaled approximately about $150.
No.
And then she's kind of waiting. And I'm like,
$150 after you both agreed that you were not going to get each other gifts?
yeah, there was a gift for a nice gift for my dog, Coffee the Pooch, and then a nice gift card for me, which for a place that I really like. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I thought I didn't get her anything. I got her nothing.
Oh, no.
So then I had to scramble and then quickly go shopping and just got her a gift card to a makeup place she liked and then a sweatshirt. Hey, cool.
And then she was kind of expecting it because she had got you something, even though you both agreed that you weren't going to get each other something.
I still think she broke a verbal contract and it's not cool. But I learned the lesson. If I ever am with partner at this time of year and we come up with this kind of agreement, I'm going to have a gift in the chamber that I'm just going to keep hidden.
Okay.
And then if she doesn't get me anything, then I'll just save this gift for the next birthday or whatever.
I think that's a great idea. That's why I do think it's a rule of life. I think that even when you both agree, you should have something. But what I don't agree with is $150. I think you should have something small, maybe a card, maybe a little handwritten note. You don't have to spend a lot of money when you've both agreed that you're not going to. You don't go and spend $150. That is so offside.
Let's be honest. Nobody wants a card.
What?
I don't want a card.
I don't mind a card.
Put it up on display for a week, and then when's the right time to throw it out? It just sits there for a while.
Don't throw it out. You keep it.
You keep? What do I have? An endless bunch of space? A card?
Not if it's a nice card. What if it's a funny card? It makes you laugh.
Yeah, I'll laugh. I'll enjoy it in the present, and then I'll chuck it out in the recycling bin.
Wow.
Don't hold on to things.
Okay, my husband and I, we always say that we're not going to buy each other gifts. And the truth of the matter is, I don't like getting gifts. I actually don't like it, but I love giving gifts. So I will still get him something, even though we've agreed. I will admit, I break the rule.
You're the person who necessitated this rule.
I know, but I'm not spending that much money. I'll just buy something small.
It's less about the money you spend and more about the fact that you're breaking a verbal contract. The money's immaterial.
No, it's just I'm just being thoughtful. It was just something
Then
thoughtful.
agree that you're each going to get each other something thoughtful.
No, we still have to say, I don't want a gift.
So you're a liar.
The point is, no matter what, if you always buy a gift, you're never going to be in trouble. Even if you agree that you're not going to buy a gift.
Okay, so then where does the rule stop here? Anything else you agree on your partner with? Sickness and health till death do us part? Yeah, whatever. Just words. I know we said it, but we're breaking rules here.
It's not the same. The rule of life is you always buy a Valentine's Day gift, even if you and your partner agreed not to. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, fellas, listen up on this one.
Yeah, for sure. Give us a call.
From CHFI Studios,
It's the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Okay, how do you feel about this being a rule of life? You always buy a Valentine's Day gift, even if you and your partner agreed not to. Do you think that should be a rule of life?
Well, philosophically, I disagree with breaking a verbal contract. I learned the hard way that this is a rule of life because this once happened to me where my partner and I on Valentine's Day agreed not to get each other anything, and then she got me something and I had to scramble and get her a makeup gift.
You don't want to be left in that position.
Yes.
So as a rule of life, always buy a Valentine's Day gift. It doesn't matter what you talked about. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I think. Do you agree? Let's go to Wes in Toronto.
No.
Tell us why.
We stopped giving gifts a long time ago. We just go for a nice dinner, that's it.
See, this is good. You've come to an agreement, and neither you or your partner are breaking the rules and surprising each other with something material.
Every day you treat them nice anyway, so what's the one day make a difference?
I agree with you. I agree with that sentiment. I think you should be thoughtful and kind year-round. However, what if she just pulled out a gift and you didn't have one ready?
Well, that would be nothing out of the ordinary, but on the other hand, just stick with the dinner.
Yeah, I guess you always have the dinner as a backup.
Yeah, there you go.
That works.
Wes?
If I come home with $50 in flowers, she'll smack me with them because she's like,
This took a turn.
Wife sounds like a smart woman. Wes, thanks, buddy.
all right, thanks, you.
Pooja and I dropping some knowledge on you this morning. We've got a Pooja and Gurdeep rule of life. We're telling you always, especially for the fellas, always buy a Valentine's Day gift for your partner, even if the two of you agreed we're not doing gifts this year. We want to know if you agree with this rule of life.
Because inevitably somebody's going to buy something, right? Even if it's something small, like you just want to have something ready. It could just be like a chocolate. It could be anything.
A chocolate? A single, like...
just one.
So she gets you like a $150 cashmere sweater. You give her a single Hershey's Kiss?
Yes. It's still something.
Seems fair.
It's thoughtful.
It's the thought that counts. It's also melted because it's been in your pocket. Why do you have that in your pocket?
I'm not sure. The point is you have to have something just in case. We think this is a rule of life. What do you think, Margot in Toronto?
No, you always buy a Valentine's Day gift.
Yes, thank
Even
you.
if you agree with your partner we're not doing gifts?
Yeah, but that's just for the moment.
You don't mean what you say in that moment.
You say, one thing, but when Valentine's Day comes, you got to do something.
Margot, question. Can I take this whatever I said didn't matter approach and use it in other scenarios with a future partner? Or is this just a Valentine's Day thing?
I think it's Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Margot, I like your logic, and I agree with it.
So thank you.
Have a good one.
You too, love. Bye-bye.
Sometimes there's just rules in life. There's just certain rules in life that you just got to abide by, and this is one of them.
We're just trying to keep you out of trouble.
It's true. And Valentine's Day around the corner, what do you think about this rule of life? You always buy a Valentine's Day gift, even if you and your partner agreed not to, because you don't want to be that person who didn't get something, and then the other person's like, oh, I know we said that, but I still got you flowers or whatever.
Look, I would have initially said, no, this is silly. Like, if you agree to something, stick by it. But I learned the hard way. This happened to me years ago. Always have a gift in the chamber, and if they don't get you anything, just keep it tucked away for the next thing.
Whole drawer full of scented candles. You could have just given that.
Those are my scented candles. I ain't giving those up. Simran from Mississauga, do you agree with this rule of life?
But I think no. If you agreed not to, you don't get each other gifts.
Okay, and then if they have a gift ready for you and you don't have one, you're fine with that?
I'm fine with that because that's on them. I mean, I would expect one thing. Flowers and chocolates.
Oh,
that's fair. That's not really a gift. That's just a Valentine's token.
I mean, that's still a gift.
Oh, yeah? Give a card?
That's more than a card. It's a gift. Okay.
Flowers and chocolate. It's a nice thing. If I was to get a gift, I'd be like, okay, cool. I got you nothing. Sorry.
So you wouldn't capitulate. If your partner got you something even though you agreed not to, you wouldn't capitulate and go run out and get a gift like I did?
No, I would probably be like, oh, thank you.
You're more of a backbone than me. I like that.
Thank you. That's on you. Thank you is followed by that's on you. Simran, I like the way you think.
The Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI.
Today is Satisfied Staying Single Day. So this day was made for you. Did you make up this day? Did you submit this day?
No, I swear I didn't. Somebody else did. There's other people who are satisfied single.
Yeah, I guess so. So much so that they need a day a few days before Valentine's Day.
Well, contrast. Life is about the up and the down, the yin and the yang.
And I think we have to be inclusive of everybody this Valentine's Day, even the single people like you, Gurdeep. And so you tell me, are you satisfied with being single?
Yes. Quite satisfied most of the time.
Most of the time?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like an absolute, right? Like being single is generally great. I think it's a much, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. I think it's a lot less stress in life when you're single as opposed to in a relationship because relationships are great. I took zero convincing.
Yeah. Producer Steph's right on board with that.
Yes. The jury made their mind up.
Yes.
Opening statements. Yeah. I mean, relationships can be wonderful, but they also do come with inherent stresses and arguments and compromises built in.
They do. And I guess you could also argue if I'm playing devil's advocate that, some of the stresses of life are also taken away by having a partner, right? So that you can, talk to and have somebody to confide in and have them there to support you. So some of those stresses also kind of melt away because you have somebody to share it with.
If you got a good one.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys though, this is a moment of, I'm not just being silly here. Like there are times, cause there's me and two other guys in the group that are still single in our early 40s. Everyone else is married with kids and stuff. And the conversation does come up a lot. Mm-hmm. There are times where and I see, and it's happened recently. This week, I've had friends reach out to me and tell me about 2 people I know that are getting divorced. I just found out this week, like it's separate relationships. And we're at that age now where like friends are on their second marriages, like a handful of friends, you see the pain they go through with divorce, and it's tough. So there are times I feel for them and I sit back and I go, man, like, this is brilliant that I've stayed single. This is really smart on my part.
I'm amazing.
Yeah. But there's times where I'm just like, man, I'm so glad I didn't do that. But then there's other times where like almost like a shiver goes through my body and I have this like future forward look of me at like 55 or 60 and I just have these pangs of regret where I'm like, what have I done? Like I didn't get married. I didn't leave a legacy. I don't have any children. Like,
whoa,
what am I thinking?
That's deep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've experienced both feelings of like, this is super smart and forward thinking that I'm single, or is this the biggest mistake of my life that I'm going to regret? And I genuinely don't know which is right.
I think life is what you make it. And I think that whether you're with somebody or whether you're single, you will find a way to be happy and to be grateful. You're that person. That's how you're built. So I feel like you don't have to worry about that.
That's the micro view. And I agree. I just tend to live day to day without projecting and thinking, because who knows what the heck is in store in 5 years, right? Like you can't plan it all.
You don't know. And then, there's also that thing. And come Friday, we're going to be talking a lot about it on Valentine's Day. There is something about being in love. There really is. There's something there that, you're high on a happy vibe. That's why I love love.
Oh, boy, all roads.
It's so beautiful. I have no comment.
From CHFI Studios,
It's the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Sometimes the most romantic thing to do is go off the grid. You don't even need a restaurant. Maybe cook a little dinner at home.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And if it wasn't winter, I'd say, like, do a little picnic or something. Like, go off the grid, plan your own thing. I think someone would find that much more meaningful because you put effort and thought into it. You didn't just go an open table and make a rezo somewhere.
Right when you said that, I got a visual of being at home, and for some reason, like Paul's holding a fry pan and he's flipping things in the air, and I don't know why that
he's got the dough in his hand. He's doing a pizza. He's flipping it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
it feels very romantic.
Then it lands on his head, and it's like a romantic comedy, and you go to help him get it off, and then you have a tender kiss.
It's so true. And in that scenario, I also forgot that we had kids. Right? Who would
So
never let that happen.
Like, what are you doing?
Never let that happen.
Look, Valentine's Day is a couple days away. Valentine's, it's a couple days away, and we're feeling romantic. We want to know what is the most romantic date spot in the GTA? Maybe this is a place you had a date. This could have been a long time ago. Maybe it's with your current partner, way back when. Doesn't matter. But what is the most romantic date spot you've ever been to in the GTA?
Okay, I don't know if this is going to qualify because I don't know that I love love, but I don't know that I'm that romantic. However, there is something about our skyline that's so beautiful. And being able to see that from Humber Bay Park, so going out to Etobicoke, you park in the park and you can actually just see, it's such a beautiful vantage point of the skyline, and just maybe something simple, just a little coffee, a little cocoa, if you will, in the car.
Cocoa? Who's fired up cocoa in the
know.
car?
Cocoa seems like something you do on Valentine's Day.
I like that.
And just looking at the beautiful view at night, especially.
Our skyline in that area, like Lakeshore Park Lot, it is so underrated. And you get the Humber Bay Bridge too, the city in the backdrop. That's a great one. Mine is sort of in the same vein because I love our skyline when you get out on the water. So I did this once with a former partner, and it's like one of the most memorable dates. We hopped in a water taxi. I've seen people do this, like, this is even more romantic. You do like a canoe, and you canoe across to the island, but I just get the private water taxi. It's like, I don't know, it's like $10 or $15 a person for the private water taxi. It's not too bad. You go right to the Toronto Islands, and you pack like a picnic. So we packed a picnic, brought a blanket, and there's so much space on the islands in the summer. Laid out a picnic basket, a blanket, bunch of food. Some I made, some I ordered because I'm not that handy in the kitchen. But it was just the thought and the foresight that went into it.
Not that handy with the canoe.
I don't own a canoe. I don't own a canoe. I saw another guy canoeing with this girl. I was like, darn it, a canoe. But that's the most romantic thing I've done in terms of a date spot. The Toronto Islands, get over there, plan a picnic.
It's cold, but that's good.
Yeah, not right now.
Yeah.
What is the most romantic date spot you've experienced in the GTA?
The Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
This is the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
We're asking you, what is the most romantic date spot in the GTA? Because, of course, Valentine's Day, 2 days away. Maybe you're not getting a reservation somewhere and you just want to take your partner somewhere romantic. We're composing a list based on your feedback. What's it for you?
Okay, so for me, and I know this wouldn't necessarily work in the winter because it's probably too cold, but I've done this with an ex-girlfriend, and it really, like, was off the chart. Scored me some points. It was a very romantic date. You pack a little picnic. You hop on the private water taxi or the ferry to get to the Toronto Islands are like, they're so underutilized.
I agree.
Just looking back at the city skyline as you're on the ferry or the water taxi is absolutely beautiful. There's so much space on the island. Lay out a blanket, pack a picnic. Some of it I ordered, some of it I made. But just the thought that goes into it, like you will, I mean, that's way better than making a reservation anywhere because you did it all yourself. The only thing I will say, one guy outdid me. Some guy was there with his girl. He canoed her over with this. I'm like, take the private taxi. I'm like, all right, easy there, Popeye.
Yeah, that is romantic. I love that. I am also a sucker for a Toronto skyline. There's something, when you're traveling back from somewhere and you actually see the CN Tower from the plane and you're like, I'm home. And then you just, something about it just makes you warm and fuzzy.
Totally.
It's the same thing when it comes to romance. I personally like going to Humber Bay Park and then looking at the skyline from that vantage point because you get this beautiful skyline. You got the lake and then you can do whatever you want. You're in the car, maybe put on the radio, listen to your favorite song, maybe a little hot cocoa.
Okay, a little makeout music.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I wasn't going to say that, but yeah.
I like it. What is the most romantic date spot in the GTA? We shared ours. What is yours, Margot in Toronto?
Yes, you could go to the CN Tower.
Like the revolving restaurant?
The revolving restaurant, or just going to watch a beautiful sunset.
Yeah, or if you can't get a reso at the revolving restaurant, you just take him to the glass floor and be like, look down. Bye.
Nothing says romance.
Nothing says romance, for sure. No, just a nice sunset. Beautiful sunset, the glass of wine.
Love that.
I love it because it's budget. The sunset doesn't cost you anything, and then you can bring your own bottle of Canadian wine from the LCBO for $8.
That's right. Well, it's not $8, but I don't know. But the Canadian wines are pretty good.
They are good,
for sure.
Especially in Niagara. Very, very good. Margot, thank you for that call. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And by the way, we are trying to compose a list here of the top spots, the top most romantic spots in the GTA. So thank you with all your texts and your calls. You're helping us compile that list. Distillery District happens to be a very popular one on the text line. This person saying during the holidays, twinkle lights, the mulled wine. My date telling me that they loved me for the first time might have been the wine talking, but it still counts as the most romantic date.
Distillery during winter is amazing. The only tricky thing is the parking.
Yes.
That can stress you out and wreck your night pretty darn fast.
But you do feel like you are not in the city anymore. Like you feel like you're somewhere in Europe.
It's a magical Christmas escape there. Absolutely. Okay, the romance lovers are coming out now because you're texting us. We're asking you, what is the most romantic date spot in the GTA? Lots of texts coming in. I like this one. I don't care what anyone says. Sitting in a parked car by the lake, eating McDonald's fries and watching the waves at Humber Bay is peak romance.
Yes,
more love for Humber Bay. There we go.
That is peak romance. I like that idea. Here's another one. This is from Jill in Scarborough saying, Casa Loma at night. I felt like a royal. My date was in a suit. We snuck a kiss on the terrace overlooking the city. Fairy tale unlocked. That sounds very romantic.
Very nice. I like that. One more text here. One time my date took me to the St. Lawrence Market and we picked out our food together for a picnic at High Park. Simple but so sweet. Two Toronto staples, St. Lawrence Market, High Park.
I agree. And then that's a whole day. And just really nice holding hands. Oh, this is romantic.
Okay, so we have gone through all the texts and calls and compiled it. Let's do it.
B&G Top 3.
All right, based on your texts and what you're saying, in the number 3 spot is the Toronto Islands.
Yeah, these are your most romantic date spots in the GTA. Toronto Islands at number 3. Number 2, this one surprised me a little because it feels a little on the nose. The CN Tower.
CN Tower. It's because the views are just spectacular. And you are also spending a pretty penny if you want to go to the revolving restaurant. So it's a night. You're making a night out of it. It's very romantic.
Coming in the number 1 spot, most romantic date spot in the GTA is?
The Distillery District.
The Distillery District.
Yes, I would have to agree.
It's pretty hard to argue with that one.
From CHFI Studios,
It's the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
So an etiquette expert is out with the most offensive Valentine's Day gifts that you should never buy. And looking at this list, I think this stuff seems pretty obvious, but I don't know, maybe you need the reminders.
Who are the people who need this basic help? Because these lists are always very Captain Obvious, but evidently, if there are etiquette experts out there getting paid for this,
Yes.
there are guys out there so dumb that they are, and I shouldn't just put it on
Maybe
guys.
not just guys.
But they're doing stuff that is like, okay, give me the list.
Okay, so they're saying like low effort gifts. So if you're, you're supposed to buy like flowers and chocolate, don't just buy generic flowers and chocolate. Like get the flowers they like.
Yeah, find
like that
out
type
what your
of flower.
partner's favorite flower is.
Or favorite chocolate, like that kind of thing. Avoid anything that's weight loss related, which is interesting because why would anybody do that? And the example was a year supply of Ozempic.
Yeah, here, happy Valentine's Day. I love you. Here's some Zemp.
But the commercial's so catchy.
Yeah. and I guess it's expensive.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to sing it.
Don't sing it. No. They say don't do that. They say women should avoid giving their men in their lives stereotypical manly gifts. So I guess like tools or ties, socks, which
I'm going to disagree with that.
I thought that's okay.
If you're handy, and I'm not really, but if I was handy, I wouldn't mind getting tools.
Right.
Like, or if I was, needed to wear ties, like, sure, a nice tie that looks good. If you know my style, like, that's okay.
Maybe that sort of falls into generic. Maybe that's the problem. They say gag gifts. So let's say you're getting world's worst dad t-shirt and you think like it's funny because it's just like you don't really mean it. Don't do that. Not on Valentine's Day.
Save that for April Fools.
Yes.
Sit on that one for a couple of months.
That's when you do that. Anything that's household, cleaning supplies, vacuum, appliances, pasta maker, iron, vacuum.
Again,
you can't buy those things, right?
I'm not even in a relationship and I know all these things. This is all very Captain Obvious. Have you ever received, I'm guessing you haven't given a terrible Valentine's Day gift. Have you ever received a terrible Valentine's Day gift?
Well, I have. I like with an ex of mine, I got a wooden ship one year. Like it was from the Bombay company and it was like this wooden ship that kind of looked like the Titanic, but not really. Like it was painted. So it was like blue and white.
Was this Titanic era?
It was, yeah. It was
like,
actually,
I don't mean 1912. I mean 1997, the movie.
Yes, yes. When the movie came out. And that was what I was like, oh, a wooden ship. Yay. What am I going to do with the wooden ship? And why did you buy me a wooden ship? And the answer was, oh, well, how Titanic came out and like we watched it and you hated it and everybody loved it, but you hated it. Yes. So I thought I would get you a wooden ship.
Wow.
To represent the Titanic.
I'm guessing, like the Titanic, that relationship went down. Good Lord.
There was an iceberg ahead, for sure.
There was an iceberg straight ahead.
Yes.
That is horrible. What is the worst Valentine's gift you've ever given or received?
The Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI.
What is the worst Valentine's gift you've ever given or received? Getting a lot of great text calls. Let's go to Gail in Richmond Hill.
It was a pre-made appointment and 12 months paid visits to Dr. Bernstein.
No.
Dr. Bernstein is the weight loss doctor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, Gail.
Yep.
Are you still with that person?
No.
Oh, okay.
Now, Gail, let me just try and get some context here. Was weight loss something you two had discussed, something that maybe wouldn't have been that much of a surprise to receive, or was this like out of left field?
No, right out of the blue.
Well, so Gail, yeah, what went through your mind and what did you actually say when you opened the gift?
It wasn't even an open. It was he just looked at me and said, oh, by the way, you have an appointment tomorrow morning.
Okay. Good times.
Oh dear, this is
Gail,
bad.
that was not good. But we appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you.
No problem.
Have a good one.
Good one.
You too.
No probs. All right, worst Valentine's gift you've ever received. Text coming in here. My ex gave me a single scratch ticket for Valentine's Day. A single scratch ticket. I scratched it. 1-0. That was foreshadowing.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I think that these things are obvious that people should just know not to give these things as gifts, but maybe not.
What is the worst Valentine's gift you've ever received?
Yeah, and getting a lot of texts to 981-981, including this one. I gave my boyfriend a heartfelt handwritten love letter. He gave me a high five.
No, stop it. That's not real. Is that real? Oh, my gosh.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, how about this one? This one's from Jill. Jill says, a guy I had been dating for 3 months got me nothing.
Whoa.
Not even a text. His reason? I thought Valentine's Day was only for serious relationships. Sir, what do you think we've been doing? Wow. Well, listen, Jill, at least you probably figured out at 3 months. I'm guessing you probably cut bait at that point.
Yeah, probably. Okay, one here from Melissa says, I once got a bouquet made of carrots and celery sticks. It was from my health nut boyfriend who thought it was thoughtful. I thought it was breakup worthy.
Oh dear. Okay. And how about this one? This person ended up staying with this person. My first Valentine's Day with my now husband, he gave me a single rose made out of bacon. I married him anyway.
Oh, I mean, some might argue that that's the key
might
to
be all right.
That's
that
the
might
way
be
to your
best
heart.
Valentine's gift I'd ever received.
The direct path to your heart.
Thanks for listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Listen to Pooja and Gurdeep live weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Only on 98.1 CHFI.
Toronto's perfect music mix.